Captain Elaine Summers stood at the viewport of Defense Station Aegis watching the stars. The massive ring-shaped station orbited Earth, humanity's first and strongest line of defense. For 10 years, she had commanded this station. In all that time, nothing had prepared her for today. "Captain," said Commander Frank Martinez, her second-in-command, "the object is still approaching, speed unchanged." Elaine nodded. The unknown vessel had appeared near Jupiter 16 hours ago. It was massive, nearly 5 kilometers long according to sensors. Nothing on Earth had built anything close to that size. "Any response to our messages?" she asked. "None, Captain. We've tried all frequencies." Elaine tapped her communication badge. "Get me Admiral Collins." The screen lit up, showing the stern face of Admiral Peter Collins. His gray hair was cut short, his blue eyes tired from lack of sleep. "Admiral, the vessel continues to approach. No response to our hails." "The Security Council is meeting now," Collins said. "President Garcia has authorized defensive measures if necessary, but we're sending Dr. Wright's diplomatic ship first." "That's risky," Elaine said. "We don't know their intentions. We need to try peace before war, Captain. That's still our way." The call ended. Elaine turned to Martinez. "Alert all defense systems. I want weapons ready but not targeted. Let's not appear hostile." "Yes, Captain." Dr. Alan Wright watched Earth grow smaller through the viewport of the diplomatic vessel UES Handshake. As the lead xenolinguist for the United Earth Coalition, this moment was everything he had trained for. "Dr. Wright," called the pilot, "will intercept the alien vessel in 20 minutes. Alan nodded, reviewing his first contact protocols again. Earth had united under the UEC 50 years ago, after the climate wars. Since then, humanity had spread throughout the solar system, with colonies on Mars, mining operations on the Moon, and research stations on Europa and Titan. But they had never encountered alien life, until today. "Broadcasting all standard greeting messages on repeat," said the communications officer. The alien ship grew larger in the viewport. It was beautiful in a strange way. Sleek black metal with glowing blue lines running along its hull. It was shaped like a massive arrowhead, with no visible weapons or engines. "Still no response," said the communications officer. Alan frowned. "Try the mathematical sequence again and add..." A beam of light suddenly shot from the alien vessel, bathing the handshake in blue light. "We're being scanned," the pilot said, voice tight with worry. "Stay calm," Alan said. "This is normal first contact procedure." The scan lasted 30 seconds. Then the communication system crackled to life. "Primitive vessel. Identify purpose." The words came through in perfect English, making Alan gasp. "This is Dr. Alan Wright of the United Earth Coalition. We come in peace and friendship. May I ask whom I am addressing?" A pause. Then, "I am High Executor Z. Zorel of the Galactic Hegemony. Your species has been detected and catalogued. Prepare for integration." Alan exchanged worried looks with his crew. "High Executor, we would like to establish diplomatic relations with your people. Earth would welcome..." "Diplomacy is unnecessary," interrupted Zorel. "The hegemony rules 50,000 star systems. Earth is now part of our territory. You will submit to our authority." Alan took a deep breath. "With respect, Earth is an independent world. We would like to learn about your hegemony, but we maintain our sovereignty." The alien's laugh sounded like breaking glass. "Sovereignty is not yours to claim. We have studied your defenses. You possess no technology that can challenge us. We prefer peace," Alan said firmly. "But humanity will defend itself if threatened." "A demonstration seems necessary," Zorel said. The communication cut off. On Europa, 20 scientists worked in Research Station Galileo, studying the Moon's subsurface ocean. None of them saw the small projectile fired from the alien ship. The explosion vaporized the station in seconds, leaving only a smoking crater on the icy surface. In the UEC Emergency Council chamber in Geneva, screens showed the destruction of Europa Station. President Sofia Garcia stood pale-faced before the assembled leaders of Earth. They killed 20 people without warning, she said. This was a peaceful research station. Admiral Collins stepped forward. The alien vessel has moved to a position near Mars. They're broadcasting a message to all Earth frequencies. Put it through, President Garcia said. The face that appeared on screen was not human. Gray-blue skin stretched over a skull with 4 eyes. No visible nose, just slits where a human's nose would be. The mouth was wide and filled with small, sharp teeth. People of Earth, said High Executor Zorl, you have witnessed a small display of hegemony power. Your species shows promising attributes. Submit now, and you will be assigned appropriate status within our empire. Resist, and we will reduce your civilization to atoms. You have 6 of your Earth hours to surrender your world. The screen went dark. President Garcia looked at Admiral Collins. Options? Our fleet is in position, Collins said, but their technology is far beyond ours. If they can cross interstellar space, they likely have weapons we can't imagine. So you suggest surrender? Asked the Chinese representative. Collins straightened his back. No. I suggest we show them what happens when you threaten Earth. Captain, Summers watched the alien ship from Aegis Station. The fleet had assembled 120 Earth vessels, the sum total of humanity's space force, against one alien ship. Transmission coming in from headquarters, Martinez said. Admiral. Collins appeared on screen. Captain, you will deliver our response to the hegemony. The Security Council has approved the message. Elaine read the text that appeared on her screen. Simple, direct, and possibly the start of humanity's last war. Understood, Admiral. She opened a channel to the alien vessel. The strange face of Zorl appeared. Your time has not expired, the alien said. This is Captain Elaine Summers of Earth Defense Station Aegis. I am authorized to deliver the United Earth Coalition's response to your demands. Elaine straightened her uniform and looked directly at the alien. This is your only warning. Leave our system immediately or face consequences. Sorrel's 4 eyes blinked in sequence. Then the alien began to make that glass-breaking sound again. Laughter. Your species has spirit. It will make your eventual submission more satisfying. We will depart now, but only to return with a proper invasion fleet. Enjoy your final days of freedom. The communication ended. Minutes later, the massive alien ship began to move, accelerating away from Earth faster than any human vessel could travel. When it disappeared from sensors, a cheer went up throughout Aegis Station. But Captain Summers did not join in. She knew this was just the beginning. Send word to Earth, she told Martinez. We need to prepare for war. 6 months passed since the hegemony ship left. Earth changed in that time. The whole planet now worked toward one goal: survival. Director Samantha Cole walked through the underground complex beneath the Rocky Mountains. Her footsteps echoed in the long concrete hallway. As head of the UEC Special Weapons Division, she had the job of creating weapons that could fight aliens far more advanced than humans. 2 guards opened a heavy door for her. Inside, dozens of scientists worked at computers and lab tables. In the center of the room stood a tall man with messy brown hair. Jack, she called. Show me what you've got. Jack Reeves looked up from his work. Dark circles showed under his eyes. He hadn't slept much lately, none of them had. Director Cole, he said with a tired smile. I think we made a breakthrough. He led her to a sealed chamber with thick glass walls. Inside was a small metal device no bigger than a coffee cup. This is the prototype dimensional shifter, Jack explained. When activated, it moves matter slightly out of normal space. Things can pass through each other without touching. Does it work? Samantha asked. Jack picked up a remote control. Watch. He pressed a button. A low hum filled the room. Inside, the chamber, the device glowed blue. Jack picked up a steel ball and threw it at the glass wall of the chamber. Instead of bouncing off, the ball passed straight through the glass, landing on the floor inside. Samantha's eyes widened. You've done it. It only works on a small scale right now, Jack said. But if we can scale it up, we could make Earth untouchable, Samantha finished. Jack nodded. Exactly. Admiral Collins stood in the war room beneath Geneva. A holographic map of the solar system floated in the center of the table. Around him stood the highest-ranking military officers from around the world. The satellite network is 70% complete, reported General William Harris, commander of ground forces. By next month, we'll have eyes and ears throughout the system. What about the stealth technology? Asked Collins. Working perfectly, said a woman in a lab coat. The hegemony won't see our defenses until it's too late. Collins nodded. And Protocol Omega? The room grew quiet. Protocol Omega was Earth's last resort. If all else failed, Earth would destroy itself rather than surrender. Ready for activation. If needed, General Harris said quietly. Collins looked around the room. We have one advantage the hegemony doesn't expect. They think we're weak. They think we're primitive. Let them think that, right until the moment we prove them wrong. Commander Frank Martinez stood in a hangar on Mars. Before him were 500 men and women, pilots, engineers, and soldiers. 3 months ago, we captured a hegemony scout ship, he said, pointing to the sleek black vessel behind him. We've learned how their shields work. We've learned how their weapons work. And we've used that knowledge to create this. A wall slid open, revealing a new type of fighter ship. It was smaller than standard Earth fighters, with a strange blue glow coming from its engines. The Hornet, Martinez said. Faster than anything we've built before. Armed with weapons based on hegemony technology, and completely invisible to their sensors. He walked along the line of people. Each of you will learn to fly these. Each of you will become the most dangerous pilots in the solar system. And when the hegemony returns, they'll face a sting they never expected. In Washington, D.C., Senator Grace Murray watched the latest defense briefing with growing concern. The video showed new weapon tests, soldier training, and military buildups on every planet and moon in the system. When it ended, she spoke up. Are we sure this is the right path? We've become a civilization preparing only for war. President Garcia looked tired. Running a planet at war took its toll. Do you have another suggestion, Senator? We could try to contact other civilizations, Grace said. The galaxy can't all be under hegemony control. There might be allies out there. Admiral Collins shook his head. We've been sending messages in all directions. No responses yet, and we don't have time to wait for help that might never come. Then let me try one more diplomatic approach, Grace insisted. Just one more attempt at peace before we commit to this war. President Garcia considered this. Very well, one more attempt, but the preparations continue. Senator Murray's diplomatic mission failed. The hegemony refused to even speak with her ship, forcing it to turn back before reaching the meeting point. On year. Her return, she went straight to the Special Weapons Division. I was wrong, she told Director Cole. There will be no peace with them. They view us as animals to be conquered, nothing more. Samantha nodded grimly. Then we give them something they don't expect. She led the senator to a massive underground chamber. Inside was what looked like a satellite, but larger than any Earth had sent to space before. This is the first of 50, Samantha explained. When the hegemony fleet enters our system, these will activate. They'll disrupt the aliens' shields and communication systems. Will it be enough? Grace asked. By itself? No. But it's just one piece of our plan. Captain Elaine Summers received the alert at 3:17 a.m. Earth time. She rushed to Aegis Station's command center, still pulling on her uniform jacket. Report, she ordered. Long-range sensors detected it, Captain, said the night officer. A large fleet of ships just appeared at the edge of the system. Matches hegemony signatures. Elaine looked at the display. Hundreds of ships, moving in, perfect formation toward Earth. How many? She asked quietly. Over 500 vessels. The largest is 20 kilometers long. Elaine activated the emergency broadcast system. This is not a drill. First wave defense positions. All personnel to battle stations. She opened a secure channel to Earth. Admiral Collins, they're here, much sooner than we expected. Collins's face appeared on screen. How much time do we have? At their current speed, 3 days until they reach Earth. Collins nodded. Implement Operation Thunderbolt. And Elaine, good luck. The screen went dark. Captain Summers looked out at her crew, now moving with practiced efficiency to their positions. Send word to all defense points, she ordered. The hegemony has returned. The battle for Earth begins now. On screens throughout the station, a simple message appeared. Operation Thunderbolt activated. Elaine Summers took her command chair. 3 days until the greatest battle in human history. 3 days to prepare for war with an empire that ruled. Thousands of worlds, let them come, she whispered to herself. We warned them. The hegemony fleet filled the view screens of Aegis Station. 500 warships moved in perfect formation, led by a massive vessel that dwarfed all others. 3 days had passed since they entered the solar system. Now they were just beyond the moon, close enough to see Earth with the naked eye. All defense stations report ready, Commander Martinez told Captain Summers. Elaine nodded, her face calm despite the tension in the air. And our special preparations? In place. They suspect nothing. The main screen flickered, showing an alien face. High Admiral Kraz of the Hegemony Fleet looked similar to Zorl, but with deeper blue skin and 6 eyes instead of 4. Gold markings covered his face, showing his high rank. People of Earth, Kraz said, his voice deep and cold. Your time of freedom has ended. The Galactic Hegemony claims this system and all resources within it. Your species will serve as needed. Resistance will result in planetary bombardment. President Garcia appeared on a split screen, facing the alien admiral from her office in Geneva. We request 24 hours to prepare our surrender documents. Our world has many nations and leaders who must sign. Kraz's 6 eyes blinked, in sequence. You have 12 hours. Any military action during this time will result in immediate attack. The screens went dark. Martinez looked at Captain Summers. They believed it? Elaine allowed herself a small smile. Arrogance makes you blind. They can't imagine we would fight rather than surrender. She pressed a button on her console. All stations, Operation Thunderbolt is in effect. Countdown starts now. Lieutenant Olivia Bennett climbed into her Hornet fighter. The sleek craft was unlike anything humans had built before. Based on the captured scout ship, it combined Earth ingenuity with alien technology. All pilots, check in, she said into her helmet microphone. Around her, 50 other pilots prepared their ships. Remember, she continued, stay in stealth mode until the signal. They can't see you if you don't want them to. Her squadron was hidden in a crater on the far side of the moon. Similar groups waited on Mars, in the asteroid belt, and in orbit. Around Jupiter. The hegemony thought Earth's defenses were centered around the planet itself. They were wrong. 12 minutes to signal, said the flight controller. Good hunting. Olivia closed her eyes for a moment. Everything had led to this. Her whole life. Humanity's whole history. Let's make it count, she whispered. In his laboratory, deep beneath the Rocky Mountains, Jack Reeves monitored the dimensional shifter. The prototype had grown into something much larger, a network of devices circling the Earth. Power levels stable, reported his assistant. Ready on your command. Jack nodded. Wait for the signal. When it comes, Earth becomes a ghost. On the bridge of his flagship, High Admiral Kraz watched Earth grow larger in the view screen. Such a blue world. Such a waste that it was inhabited by primitives who didn't appreciate its value. The humans are preparing surrender documents as ordered, reported his second-in-command. Their military vessels remain at their bases. Good, Kraz said. Once we have their surrender, move half the fleet to the colony on Mars. The mining operations there will be useful. What about their defensive stations? Kraz made a dismissive gesture. Primitive technology, our weapons will... An alarm blared. The bridge lights flashed red. What is happening? Kraz demanded. Unknown energy surged throughout the system, said the science officer, frantically checking monitors. It's coming from... The ship shuddered violently. Captain Summers watched as the stealth satellite network activated. Bright beams of energy connected the satellites, forming a web around the hegemony fleet. Now, she said, throughout the solar system, hidden fighters powered up. Lieutenant Bennett led her squadron out of the moon crater, heading straight for the enemy fleet. On every planet and moon, Earth's forces emerged from hiding. Shield disruptors working, reported Martinez. Hegemony vessels showing 70% drop in defense capability. Elaine opened a channel to all Earth forces. This is Captain Summers. The enemy is vulnerable. Execute attack plan Delta, for Earth. High Admiral Kraz watched in disbelief as his fleet's shields failed. Worse, hundreds of small vessels appeared from nowhere, attacking his ships with weapons that shouldn't exist on such a primitive world. How is this possible? He roared. Their technology is centuries behind ours. Unknown, Admiral, said his second. They're using some kind of phase technology. Our sensors didn't detect them until they fired. Kraz slammed his fist on the control panel. Launch all fighters. Prepare the planet killer weapons. I want that world burned. Lieutenant Bennett flew her Hornet directly at a hegemony cruiser. The alien vessel was firing wildly, its weapons missing as her ship's stealth systems confused their targeting computers. Quantum missiles ready, she told her squadron. Target their engine cores, fire on my mark. The new weapons were Earth's greatest achievement. Missiles that could phase through solid matter until they reached their target, then solidify to deliver their explosive payload. Mark! 50 quantum missiles streaked toward the hegemony cruiser. They passed through the hull like ghosts, then detonated inside the ship's engine room. The cruiser broke apart in a massive explosion. One down, Olivia said. Many to go. Jack. Reeves watched the monitors as the hegemony launched their planet-killer weapons. Massive projectiles headed toward Earth, each capable of destroying a continent. They're coming, he told Director Cole, who stood beside him. Ready? Samantha nodded. Do it. Jack activated the dimensional shifter network. Around Earth, the air seemed to shimmer as the planet partially shifted out of normal space. The planet-killer weapons reached Earth and passed straight through it, continuing into space beyond. It worked, Jack shouted, pumping his fist in the air. Earth is safe. High Admiral Kraz couldn't believe what he was seeing. His most powerful weapons had no effect on the planet. His fleet was being decimated by fighters that shouldn't exist. And now a massive Earth vessel was approaching his flagship. This is Captain Elaine Summers of Earth Defense Station Aegis, came a transmission. You were warned to stay away from Earth. That warning has been enforced. Kraz snarled. This isn't overhuman. The hegemony spans thousands of worlds. You've won a battle, not the war. Perhaps, Elaine replied, but you'll need to survive to report back. The transmission ended. Kraz looked at his tactical display. Over half his fleet was destroyed or disabled. The rest were under heavy attack. Admiral, said his second, we need to retreat. Kraz had never retreated in his long career, but he had never faced anything like Earth. Order all ships to pull back, he said, his voice thick with rage. We will return with a larger force. As the remnants of the hegemony fleet fled the solar system, cheers erupted throughout Earth's ships and stations. Humanity had faced its greatest threat, and won. Captain Summers didn't join the celebration. Not yet. She knew this was just the beginning. The hegemony would return, and next time they would be prepared. But so would Earth. 3 months after the Battle of Earth, the solar system looked very different. Shipyards orbited every planet, building vessels based on captured hegemony technology. Research stations studied alien materials and weapons, and humanity prepared to expand beyond their home system for the first time. Ambassador Paul Rodriguez straightened his uniform as he prepared to board the UES Diplomat. The newly built ship would take him to the Galactic Council, a meeting of civilizations that existed in secret away from hegemony control. Are you ready, Ambassador? Asked Admiral Collins, who had come to see him off. As ready as anyone can be to represent humanity to the galaxy, Paul replied with a nervous smile. Collins placed a hand on his shoulder. Remember, you speak with the full authority of Earth, and the full power of Earth stands behind you. Paul nodded. After the battle, Earth had received messages from a dozen alien civilizations. Some offered alliance. Others simply wanted to learn how humans had defeated the supposedly invincible hegemony. The galaxy was changing, and Earth was the cause. "I won't let you down," Paul said, then boarded the ship. Kate Morgan moved silently through the captured hegemony vessel. As an intelligence officer, her job was to find secrets, and this ship held many. The UEC had captured 3 intact enemy ships during the battle. This one, the smallest, contained the hegemony's central database. "Found something," called her assistant from a nearby terminal. "Looks like their conquest records." Kate leaned over his shoulder. The screen showed thousands of worlds, each with dates of conquest and resource value ratings. "Download everything," she ordered. "This could help us understand their empire." As the files transferred, Kate noticed a pattern. "Wait, look at these dates. The hegemony hasn't developed any new technology in over 5,000 years. They've just been taking it from conquered worlds." Her assistant frowned. "So they're not inventors, they're thieves." "Exactly," Kate said. "And that's why they couldn't predict our defenses. They've never needed to innovate." This was valuable information. If the hegemony couldn't adapt quickly, Earth might have a greater advantage than anyone realized. Dr. Eric Dawson stood in his laboratory on Mars, examining pieces of a hegemony engine. Around him, other scientists ran tests on alien materials and devices. "The quantum field generator is the key," he told his team. "It's how they travel faster than light. If we can replicate it, we could reach other star systems in days instead of years," finished his colleague. Eric nodded. "Exactly. And there's something else." He pointed to a small device connected to the engine. "This communicator uses quantum entanglement. It allows instant communication across any distance." "That would change everything," said his colleague. "Our ships could stay in constant contact no matter how far they travel." Eric smiled. "The hegemony gave us the keys to the stars. Probably not what they intended." In the Great Hall of the Galactic Council, Ambassador Rodriguez stood before representatives of 30 alien species. Some looked almost human. Others were completely different. Floating gas clouds, crystalline structures, and things he had no words to describe. "People of the galaxy," he began, his voice steady despite his nerves. "I come from Earth. For most of you, that name meant nothing 3 months ago. Now it means hope." He activated a hologram showing the Battle of Earth. The council members watched as the much smaller human forces defeated the hegemony fleet. For 50,000 years, the hegemony has ruled through fear. They took your resources, your people, and your freedom. They claimed to be invincible. Paul paused. "They lied." Murmurs spread through the hall. "Earth offers friendship to all free worlds. We will share our technology. We will help defend your planets. And together we will end the hegemony's reign of terror." One alien stood, a tall, tree-like being with glowing blue leaves. "The hegemony controls thousands of worlds. They will return to Earth with a force 10 times larger than before. How will you stand against that?" Paul smiled. "The same way we stood against them the first time. With courage, innovation, and this." He pressed a button on his wrist. A second hologram appeared, showing Earth ships emerging from jump gates around various planets. Even now, Earth vessels are helping defend a dozen worlds from hegemony retaliation. We are no longer confined to our system, and we are no longer alone. The hall erupted in sounds of approval, clicks, hums, and words in 100 different languages. Earth had found allies. Supreme Overlord Vrax sat on his throne on the hegemony capital world. 6 eyes, each a different color, glared at High Admiral Kraz, who knelt before him. "You lost half our invasion fleet to primitives," Vrax said, his voice like grinding stone. "This is unprecedented." "Supreme Overlord, they had technology we didn't expect," Kraz said, keeping his head down. "They could phase through solid matter. Their weapons ignored our shields." "Excuses," hissed Vrax. Now reports come from a dozen worlds of Earth vessels helping rebellions. The empire we built over 50,000 years is starting to crack. We are preparing a new fleet, Kraz said. 10 times larger. Earth will fall. It must, Vrax agreed. But first we must learn about these humans. What makes them different from all the species we've conquered before? A servant approached, carrying a datapad. Supreme Overlord, our spies have returned from Earth. They report the humans are unusual. How so? They adapt quickly. They think differently. And they seem to enjoy fighting against impossible odds. Vrax considered this. In 50,000 years, the hegemony had conquered species with greater technology and larger populations than humans, but none had the same spirit. Send assassins to eliminate their leaders, he ordered. Cut off the head, and the body will die. Captain Elaine Summers stood on the bridge of her new ship, the UES Defiance, Earth's first true battleship, built with a combination of human and hegemony technology. It was the most powerful vessel humans had ever created. Captain, we're ready to make the jump, said Commander Martinez, now her first officer on this new assignment. Elaine nodded. Take us out. The ship entered a jump gate, emerging moments later in orbit around a distant world called Nexus. Below, hegemony forces were attacking local rebels. Weapons ready, Martinez reported. Open a channel to the hegemony ships, Elaine ordered. When the alien commander appeared on screen, Elaine saw fear in his eyes. The hegemony now knew what humans could do. This is Captain Elaine Summers of Earth, she said. You were warned once, there won't be a second warning. Before the alien could respond, she gave the order to fire. As the Defiance's weapons tore through the hegemony ships, Elaine knew this was just the beginning of a long war. But humanity had spent its entire history fighting, surviving, and adapting. The hegemony had ruled through fear for 50,000 years. They were about to learn what real fear was. Across the galaxy, a message spread from world to world. Humans warned the Galactic Empire once. They didn't listen. Now the Empire would fall. 1 year after the Battle of Earth, humanity had spread to 12 star systems. Earth ships protected former hegemony worlds that had declared independence. Human technology advanced rapidly as scientists studied alien devices and principles. Admiral Peter Collins stood in the new UEC headquarters on Mars looking at a galactic map. Blue lights showed Earth-controlled systems. Red showed hegemony territory. Yellow marked independent worlds under Earth protection. The blue was spreading. Admiral, said his aide, the assassins have been caught. Collins nodded. This was the 5th attempt by hegemony agents to kill Earth leaders in the past month. Take them to interrogation. We need to know who sent them. The door opened and Director Samantha Cole entered. Peter, you need to see this. She handed him a data pad showing images of a massive structure in deep space. Our long-range scouts found it at the edge of hegemony space. They're building something big. Collins studied the images. The structure was enormous, a ring nearly the size of Earth's moon. What is it? We think it's a superweapon, Samantha said, something that could threaten entire systems. Collins set down the pad. Then we need to destroy it before they finish building it. Captain Elaine Summers and her ship Defiance had become legends in the growing Earth fleet. They had won 7 major battles against hegemony forces. Today they faced their biggest challenge yet. All hands to battle stations, Elaine ordered as the Defiance emerged from a jump gate near the massive hegemony structure. 10 enemy battleships detected, reported Martinez. They've seen us. Elaine studied the tactical display. The Defiance was powerful, but not enough to take on 10 hegemony battleships alone. Send the signal, she ordered. Then take us in. Moments later, 5 more jump gates opened. Earth vessels emerged, forming up alongside the Defiance. Fleet in. Position, Captain, said Martinez with a smile. The element of surprise is ours. Elaine opened a channel to the fleet. This is Captain Summers. Our mission is simple. Destroy that weapon before the hegemony can use it, for Earth and for all free worlds. The Earth fleet accelerated toward the enemy. On the hegemony capital, World Supreme Overlord Varax received disturbing news. His spies reported that humans had found the Annihilator, his secret weapon designed to destroy entire star systems. How did they discover it? He demanded. Unknown, Supreme Overlord, said his spy master, but they've sent a fleet to destroy it. Vrax slammed his fist on his throne. The humans must be stopped. They spread rebellion wherever they go. 12 systems have already declared independence. There is more news, the spy master said, nervously. The rebels are calling it the Human Alliance now. 27 species have joined. Vrax's 6 eyes narrowed. We ruled this galaxy for 50,000 years before these humans emerged from their primitive world. They cannot be allowed to continue. He stood from his throne. Prepare my ship. I will deal with this myself. Dr. Eric Dawson stood before the Earth Council with exciting news. We've completed the star maps from the Hegemony database, he announced. And we found something incredible. He activated a hologram showing a distant part of the galaxy. This system contains a planet almost identical to Earth. The Hegemony records show they found it 10,000 years ago, but kept it secret, even from their own people. President Garcia leaned forward. Why would they hide a planet? Because, Eric said, the planet is populated by humans. Shocked murmurs filled the council chamber. There are humans living on another world? Asked Senator Murray. How is that possible? Eric shook his head. We don't know, but the Hegemony has kept that system under heavy guard for millennia. They're afraid of something there. Admiral Collins stood. Then we need to find out what it is. Lieutenant Olivia Bennett led her fighter squadron through the debris of destroyed Hegemony ships. The battle around the Annihilator was fierce, but Earth forces were winning. Target those power conduits, she ordered her pilots. The main weapon can't fire if we destroy them. Her Hornet fighters darted between larger vessels, their quantum missiles striking key points on the massive ring structure. Explosions bloomed in space as systems failed. This is Bennett to defiance, she called. The weapons defenses are down. You're clear for the final strike. On the bridge of the Defiance, Captain Summers received the message with satisfaction. Take us in, she ordered. Prepare the Nova Bomb. The Nova Bomb was Earth's newest weapon, a device that created a miniature star for a fraction of a second, releasing enough energy to destroy almost anything. In range in 30 seconds, Martinez reported. Suddenly, alarms blared. New contact, shouted the sensor officer. Massive ship just emerged from jump gate. It's huge. On the view screen, a vessel appeared that dwarfed even the Annihilator. Golden and shaped like a blade, it radiated power. This is Supreme Overlord Vrax of the Galactic Hegemony, came a transmission. You have interfered in our affairs for the last time, humans. Elaine straightened in her chair. This is Captain Summers of Earth. You were warned to stay away from us. You chose not to listen. Your impudence ends today, Vrax replied. I will destroy your fleet. Then I will destroy Earth itself. The massive ship fired, its beam cutting through 2 Earth vessels instantly. The battle had taken a dangerous turn. Evasive maneuvers, Elaine ordered. All ships concentrate fire on the Supreme Overlord's vessel. As the Defiance turned to face this new threat, Elaine knew they faced their greatest challenge yet. The Supreme Overlord himself had entered the war. Kate Morgan received urgent news in her intelligence center on Luna. We've decoded more of the Hegemony files, her assistant said, and we found something about the Supreme Overlord. Kate took the datapad and read quickly. This can't be right. According to this, Vrax is over 15,000 years old. It's correct, her assistant confirmed. The Hegemony leaders use technology to extend their lives indefinitely. Vrax has ruled for 15 millennia. Kate's mind raced. That explains their fear of change, but it also means... She quickly sent a message to the Defiance. This information could change everything. As the battle raged around the Annihilator, Captain Summers received Kate Morgan's message. She read it quickly, then smiled. Martinez, change of plans. Target these coordinates on the Supreme Overlord's ship. Martinez looked confused but obeyed. Targeting. But our weapons can't penetrate their main shields. We don't need to, Elaine said. We just need to get their attention. She opened a channel. Supreme Overlord Vrax, we know your secret now. 15,000 years of rule. The immortality technology. The human planet you keep hidden. There was a long pause before Vrax responded, his voice now uncertain. How could you know these things? We know everything, Elaine bluffed. And now so will every world in the galaxy. As she spoke, Earth ships continued to fire on the Annihilator. It was beginning to break apart. You cannot stop the inevitable, Vrax said. Humanity will fall like all others before it. Elaine smiled. You still don't understand, do you? We warned you once. Now we're done warning. She gave the order, and the Nova bomb launched toward the Annihilator. The resulting explosion engulfed the massive weapon, sending shockwaves that damaged even Vrax's flagship. The Supreme Overlord's vessel turned and fled, jumping away to safety, but the damage was done. The hegemony's secret weapon was destroyed, and their supreme leader had retreated from battle. A cheer went up throughout the Earth fleet. Not just a victory, but a turning point in the war. As the Defiant set course for home, Elaine knew their greatest challenge still lay ahead. Finding the mysterious human planet, learning the truth about humanity's place in the galaxy, and finally ending the hegemony's long rule. The battle was won. But the war for the galaxy was just beginning.